Welcome to CryptoNest. Alright, so today I'm going to make a video. It's not crypto or stock related. It's actually it's bullshit related. And at one certain point, there's only so much shit I can take without being corrected. So I feel that today I need to do my part and spray some truth about some lies, and then after that I can go back for a couple of years, I guess, hopefully, if there isn't a overwhelmed quantity of bullshit spreading. So let's hear some.
As the president says he's playing the long game, American voters seem to be getting more worried about what those tariffs are going to mean for them specifically, as they're waiting for the president to fulfill his many economic promises.
The tariffs kind of like they're on, they're off, they're on, they're off. It's hard to sort of forecast, and with the big tariff, we have to increase the prices to cover that extra cost, which means, unfortunately, the cost of the bikes goes up, and our customers are paying more for the bikes.
All right, so let's pause a little bit. So since the beginning, the president of the United States, he said he's going to put some tariffs, but tariffs are going to be paid by the foreigners' countries. Well, it looks like he didn't want to share the real truth. He just wanted to introduce the concept of a world where we don't need a credit card. But at the end of the day, reality catch up, and now slowly, from a message that it will not increase the price of the goods for Americans, well, now it shifted, right? Slowly it became, well, are we going to have a recession? Well, I don't like to want to say those key things, but we're making a big changement, and maybe we're going to have a rough patch, but our price going to go higher? No, not at all, no. And then after that, well, American goods are not going to go higher because they're made in US, right? It's only the rest that is going to increase that come from other countries. And God knows that, we all use only national products, and we don't buy shit from, for example, China. Because, look at your counter or your bedroom, or, your cabinets. Where do you buy your cabinets? I buy them from IKEA because they're cheap. My computer certainly is not, hasn't been built in US. Come from China, my friend, or Taiwan, I don't know. Microchip, they come from Taiwan, more likely, 80-90% of chances. So the reality is everything we use doesn't come from Canada or United States. Or if they do, it's only a few things. Majority doesn't come from North America. Let's continue.
We've been getting hit from all angles. All of our cans either come from Canada or the aluminum being used to make the cans come from Canada. So we're going to get hit with it one way or another. We're looking at probably, at 25%, a 1 to 2 cent per can increase. If we go to 50%, it's going to double those numbers. And, there's only so much we can eat before we have to, push that off to the consumer on the shelf.
It's going to have to be a delicate dance, and we're certainly concerned about rising prices because we have to pass them along to our customers.
There you go.
They aren't good for me, and who could blame them putting reciprocal tariffs on us? It's just a match, and nobody's going to win.
Actually, rich people are going to win, but let's talk about that later.
My lead source tonight, Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma. And Senator, it's great to have you here. You heard those voters themselves, right. A few expletives in some of those situations. Your own home state imports more than $7 billion in oil, as you know, and more than $49 million in natural gas coming from Canada. Now with the new tariffs going in place and what this is going to look like, what should they be preparing for? Is it going to be a difficult period for them over the next few months?
Well, one of the reasons why there's so much importing from Canada is because we have Cushing where we store it. So we're actually not we're holding it as it transports onto refineries in Houston. So we're not just necessarily importing that. It is a concern
Right,
to
but
us.
it speaks to your economic development, it's people's jobs and
Yeah,
whatnot.
well, yes, but we're just holding it as it goes through. We're not actually passing it on to consumers. We're just holding it in storage tanks in Cushing, Oklahoma. It's across lines of, or the pipeline intersection of the world, basically is what we call it, and then it goes on. But that's beside the point. What we do understand.
So now it's trying to escape. It doesn't want to tell you, it doesn't want to say on TV that, if Canada get pissed off and they put 25% tariffs on exporting petrol, Canadian petrol, then it doesn't want to say honestly to you that your gas is going to go up, my friends.
Understand though, there is cost. It's going to.
And by the way, Canadian gas also, because we ship the brute petrol to US, and then US they refine it, and then they ship it back to Canada. So what an amazing combination.
Be here. There's two things that's happening here. You have the reciprocal tariffs that are on other countries, especially Europe, that has been taking advantage of our economy because we allowed them to rebuild after World War II. We did that. We've never actually corrected that. And then
okay, so now this is one of the biggest bullshit that I ever heard, and I actually, I do feel that we need, the subtitle that we can put on and off. I feel we need an option now to have subtitle connected to AI, and then as soon as he hears something, he go and double check, and the subtitle it says, is it true or is it false? And it is a little bit. It's actually good for me because I am refreshing my history that I learned since I come from Europe. So this is why I feel a little bit attacked on both sides, because I'm European that now live in Canada, and I hear so much bullshit from Europe and Canada that at a certain point you can only take so much bullshit before reacting. Okay, so is it a fair statement to say that United States allowed Europe to rebuild after the Second World War? So this is AI, okay? I didn't type it. I use Perplexity, so copy and paste. And actually, I'm going to put down the reference in the link so you can just click on it and have the full answers. So you know that, just to be sure that, I didn't write down these things. This is the answer. It is not accurate to characterize the United States' role in Europe post-World War II reconstruction as merely allowing Europe to rebuild. The United States actively and substantially contributed to Europe's recovery through initiatives like the Marshall Plan. What is the Marshall Plan? Officially was a massive US-sponsored program that provided over $13 billion in economic aid to Western Europe countries from 1948 to 1951. So the initiative was designed to help rebuild war-torn economies, restore industrial and agricultural production, and promote long-term economic growth and stability. So the United States' motivation for this extensive aid was manufactured. So economically stability. The US provided that economic recovery in Europe would create markets for American goods and contribute to global economic stability. I think the others are not very important. I'm just keeping with the financial. Okay, so now let's go and check. I ask, did the Marshall Plan benefits more Europe or United States from a financial point of view? Because we're talking about finance here, right? Trading. Okay, so from a financial perspective, the Marshall Plan benefits both Europe and United States, but the immediate economic impact was more significant for Europe. So you need to give, this is the truth. I'm not hiding anything, as you can see. The Marshall Plan provided substantial financial aid to European country, totaling 13.3 billions, equivalent of under 33 billions in 1924. Over 4 years, this assistance had several direct economic benefits for Europe. Rapid economic recovery. By 1952, the economy of every participant state has surpassed the pre-war levels, with output in 1951 at least 35% higher than 1938. So this is the Second World War. Industrial and agricultural growth. Industrial production increased by 35%, and agricultural production substantially surpassed pre-war levels. So for sure, they got modernized with European industrial and business practices using high efficiency American models. So at the end of the day, Americans sold the technology, right? Because Europe was totally pretty much destroyed, and they start from scratch. Long-term growth. Western Europe experienced unprecedented growth over the following 2 decades, with standard of living increasingly dramatically. So that's the positive thing of borrowing money at the end from United States. Well, while the immediate financial outlay come from the United States, the country also derives significant economic benefits. Alright, so export growth. The US economy benefit as European country used to aid to purchase American goods, helping to sustain economic activity in a post-war period. So European, they just bought shitload of material from US, which helped the economy of United States. Trade relationship. The plan established trade relationship between key power in Europe that indebted them to the US and made them more likely to agree to US-centric power store economic order. So it means, but at the end of the day, the United States had they had the stick in a hand, and then Europe agreed, and it's not the other way around, right? Long-term trade benefits. By stimulating European productivity and accepting a greater volume of imports, the US saw its own export increase several-fold on the decades that followed, and also the dollar became the reserve currency. Alright, so now the next question, and this is a tricky one, but at one certain point, you need to be fair. Did the United States become a powerful country because they were selling arms to Europe during the First World War? Because if you say that we did a good thing to you, and then blah blah, you're not okay. So let's read. The United States raised the economy superpower status during World War I was not solely due to arms sales, but rather a combination of factors that significantly boosted the economy and global influence. So, and once again, please go and Google it by yourself. Alright, economic transformation. Export growth. US export increased dramatically from 2.4 billion in 1913 to 6.2 billion in 1917. So what else did I want to see? The US transitioned from a debtor to a creditor nation, with European allies owing American taxpayers 9.8 billion by 1928. So Americans, or United States, they were in debt with European allies, but because of the First World War, and they were not involved in the First World War, so they had the privilege to make business with countries that they were at war. So they were producing arms, and not only that, but so many other products, right? So this is how they became a superpower. So when this moron states that Europe is not fair with US, you know, this administration is dishonest, and I dislike, even though I had great. If I had to vote, maybe I would have gone with Trump. But at the end of the day, you cannot trust a person who always change his word. He's not a man of word. And to me, personally, if you cannot keep a word, you're not a man. You have no honor. And I would never make any business with someone that I don't trust. And if a man is not a man of his word, then to me you are dishonest and you have no honor. So there is nothing I can do with you. And this is my, yes, I know, this is my European side. Okay, let's continue.
And you got national security issues that's going on between Canada and Mexico. They have illegal activities through trafficking of drugs and trafficking of humans coming across our northern and southern border.
Trafficking humans, this is it's a new topic now, it's new. Before it was immigrants and drugs and fentanyl, and now sneaking traffic human. Yeah, sure.
Border. How this whole thing started was we asked them for help. You remember Trudeau, he responded by saying that you should
help is like you fucking do what I want or I put tariffs. This is the new administration when they ask for help, it's a threat.
Worry about your own streets and not just try to come after us and try to have us fix their problem. The problem is the illegal activity is coming from their countries. They're openly allowing the cartels to work in their countries. What we've asked...
In Canada, we don't really have cartels. And actually this should be Canada putting tariff on US at the beginning, because you know they're letting in so many arms in Canada. I know what it's talking about. I mean, there is only a couple of fentanyl going in US, but there are so many arms coming to Canada from US, but no one is talking about it because, I don't know, it's not convenient, isn't it?
And what President Trump asked is help us. If we will partner with you, we're not asking you to do this yourself. Help us.
Okay, so I never heard Trump ever asking for help. Did you? Please, any comments, drop them down. Did you ever heard the President Trump for help for anything? He's more a style of a threatening person, not asking for help.
Stop the illegal activities coming across our northern and southern border.
Well, I don't know about the word openly, but that is something that we heard from Trump and Canadian officials. But then we've also spoken with Canadian officials talking directly to the White House who say one day it's the fentanyl numbers, one day it's the dairy tariffs, which haven't even actually hit the mark in the USMCA agreement that Trump negotiated. One day it's the trade deficit, you know, and Trump's pulling back without some of those things being addressed. So they're saying essentially it's mixed signals, and we don't know exactly what barometer we're supposed to be hitting.
I get what they're saying, but I can tell you where we've been at. We've been laser focused on national security, and the president has been laser focused on securing our borders. Just in the last 7 days, Oklahoma has apprehended 5 pounds of fentanyl. Now, 5 pounds doesn't sound like a lot.
No, it's a lot, because obviously a little bit of fentanyl can be
2.2 pounds of fentanyl is enough to kill 500,000 people. That's just in Oklahoma alone. So this has happened to every one of our cities. If they don't want to partner with us on national security, then how else do we get their attention? Like I said, we're not asking them to do it alone. We're saying let us partner with you to go after the cartels that's getting the illegal activity across our borders.
But you're talking about just Canada. I mean, this is going across.
But what cartel are we talking about in Canada? There are no freaking cartel. Cartel, it's more, I don't know, maybe I'm very ignorant, but cartels, isn't it more a Mexican thing?
The board on a steel and aluminum, and it's about to go across the board even further come April 2nd, according to the president. He argued today that there's not inconsistency here. He said that he needed to have flexibility. Right. But if you're a business owner, that is inconsistency and it's uncertainty. They don't know what's hitting what and when, and if the threats are real or not. I mean, what are you supposed to do if you're a business owner
the
here?
first time the president put this on, Canada came in and said, listen, we're going to put $1.3 billion worth of technology on our border. And Mexico came and said, we're going to put 10,000 Marines on our southern border and work with you on it. The president said, okay, we'll stop. We'll pause that for 30 days and see how it goes. The problem is they did put the Marines there. It has helped with the human trafficking, but the drug trafficking is still flowing in, and we're not going after the cartels. All it stopped is the flow coming across one part of the border, and now they push it someplace else. But we're saying, let's go after the bad actors. They're refusing to do that.
But if they're working with you and you still put you say Mexico is not refusing. They just sent all these cartel leaders to the United States.
They sent 26 people that we already had the intel on them and told them to go pick them up. We've been trying to get them picked up for a while. It was a big deal, but there's more that can be done. And the same thing on the northern border. What the Canadians did is they put technology there. They showed us where the illegal activity was crossing. But we're like, okay, if you know where it's crossing, then why aren't you apprehending them before they get to our border? Why are you allowing them to still come in? And then there's been this tit for tat. And
yeah, this is a ridiculous thing, right? If it's always made up of shit. And who said who? You know, here in Canada we have no news of that. And actually, it is true that people are crossing the borders, but they're fleeing United States. So they're not going to your country, my friend. They're escaping your country and coming to Canada. Because here we have democracy, and there, I think it's fading out.
And the president is doing exactly what he said he was going to do. He was going to screw our borders. It's promises made and promises kept by the.
Okay, that I need to say, it is true. Like, it's the one president that, you know, he did make things move. For immigration, he did really shut them down, and he did change the mind of foreigners to not go to United States. That he did that. I can give that. I try always to be objective, okay? So when a person do something good, well, that one, it was amazing.
President.
Well, but the businesses seem confused. I mean, Wall Street, we're
that.
watching. I mean, you're seeing the numbers.
Sure.
What's a business leader left to think, or an investor?
It's tough right now, and I understand that. I'm a business owner. We all make decisions based on two things: the way we're raised and our life experience. Before politics, all I ever did was business. You need certainty, which is why we need, tax policy that's permanent, not that's able to fade in and out. I'm not trying to get off on that subject, but I'm just saying that we need certainty in the business world. Tariffs is a tax, and it will be passed on consumers.
Oh my goodness. Oh, finally we agreed. So many months it did take to finally say that tariffs are a tax and they're going to be passed to the consumers. All right, that finally we got some transparency. But did you voted for a president who actually tell you that? Or did he tell you that it's going to bring down the cost of your grocery? Because, let's compare another president. Milei of Argentina, when he was in election mode, he campaigned for several months, even before the election. And he was going around from city to cities. I'm going to tell, and he was saying, if you choose me, the first year is going to be very bad. It's going to be the worst year you ever saw financially. But, we're going to suffer the first year, and then after that, we're going to get better. And this, I respect. Transparency, honesty. This is what I'm going to do. I have a strategy, and I'll let you know. There will be pain, but then if you stick with me, then it will get better. And this is a president that I respect. He's a politician that I respect because he tells you he has a strategy, he shares it to you, it's transparent. And then when he became president, he did this shit. And yes, things they did go very down. It was the worst. Everybody agreed, and now start to get better. All right, let's go on the president of the United States side. Well, he campaigned immigration and that check. That's amazing. He delivered that. price from the first day. He said, I'm going to make price go down. I'm not going to put the fault of the eggs on the previous president of this one, because that's a chicken flu. You must be very stupid to try to say a president is guilty of a flu of chicken, epidemic. What the fuck? Well, you actually, the fault is because it looks like, the difference with Canadian and US is like the production Canadian are smaller. So if there is chicken flu in one part, there is only, several hundred thousands of chicken to die, to be killed, or to control the situation. But it looks like in US it's like millions. You have factories of millions of chicken. So when they get hit with the chicken flu, then you have a lot of productivity problem, right? Because it's not only a few hundred thousands, like millions. Anyway, that I'm not expert, so I don't want to don't want to talk on things that I didn't do any research. This is how I am. Before I say something, I try at least to make some research to see. And nowadays it's so easy with AI. Okay, now it's another topic, but how reliable is AI? Eventually, we need to be cautious about that also. But would it be great now if instead of having new news tonight, or Canada and Europe, I would love to have AI here. And when this liar speaks, I want the AI to double check he's saying, and so I can make an idea. Is he an honest person that works for a citizen and is reporting the truth, or he is a liar and is working for someone else? Because at the end of the day, if he's not saying the truth, he's not working for the citizen, he's working for someone else.
But it also allows us to have open markets. So if you want to have open markets and access to other markets, so let's go past Canada and let's go past Mexico and start talking about the rest of the countries we allow to come in here, that the president says we want to have reciprocal taxes on you. If you're going to or tariffs on you, if you're going to charge us 36%, we're going to charge you 36%. If you want to charge us zero, we'll charge you zero. Every one of these countries want access to the strongest and greatest economy in the world. That's the United States. We don't necessarily have to have their market, but if they're going to have access to us, we want access to their market.
What you just said is important, that a tariff is a tax and it is passed on to consumers.
Of course it is. Everybody knows that.
That is something the White House does not acknowledge.
No, that is something that the president, who is a business person, understands that completely. No one understands the economy better than this president. There hasn't been a president that understands this economy better than this president.
And I think.
Okay, now I feel that I need to stop and say so. Donald Trump, the president of the United States, really lied for several months to Americans, because he did say that tariffs wouldn't impact the price and it wouldn't be passed to consumers. And so we have I only have two possibilities now. Either he's incompetent and he's not very good businessman, or he's a professional liar and politician. But I think he came to politics and he got elected because his trademark was, I am not a politician. So at the end he's just a liar, because and a politician. So he became a politician. So he's no longer a businessman, because it looks like he is not a good one, or he's just he's amazing businessman and he's an amazing liar. And I would go with this statement: amazing businessman and amazing liar.
I think you'd agree that in part of why he won re-election was because of his promises on the economy. There's a new CNN poll today out that says Americans are not that impressed with how he's handled it so far. It's 56% majority of the public disapproves. That's actually lower, or it's a higher disapproval than it ever was during his first term in office.
It's still higher than it ever was with Biden, though.
You see, always this shit about he's always the best.
Well, but are we judging him just on Biden's
No,
numbers?
I'm
or
just saying
also
that
on
if
his
you're
own?
gonna use numbers, you're using his high number in his first 4 years where we had inflation at 1.4%.
It's worse than
But-
it ever was during his first
but
term
he
in terms
is-
of how they're viewing it. But
Sure,
my
but
point,
he's got to.
Look his facial, look his facial signs. He's like, holy shit, what can I answer to that?
Recover from 4 years of Biden. Keep in mind,
There you go. Now it's always the Biden cassette, right? When it's good, it's him. When it's bad, it was the other one. When he took the presidency, stock market, was going to the top, to the right, and market is going to explode to the ups, to the top even greater. And now that he made it crash, that was Biden leftover. Yeah.
and we had a
they're asked about
we
how
were
Trump's
in a
handling the
recession
economy, not how
over
Biden
Biden,
is
but no
handling
one
the
talked about
economy.
it. Sorry, I'm sorry to say that.
They were asked how Trump is handling the economy
okay.
over Biden. I mean, they were asked about the tariffs specifically, and they said they disapprove of that even by a wider margin, 61 to 39%.
President Trump will get this economy where it needs to go. He said that he was going to do what he's doing with the tariffs moving on. He said he's going to keep people from taking advantage of us. These countries have been taking advantage of us. A lot of people didn't understand tariffs because most presidents just didn't talk about it. They have been taking advantage of us, and we've been losing billions and trillions of dollars by propping up their economy while our economy is suffering. When our economy suffers, then we have to have national debt. Our national debt is climbing. The way to get that solved is we have a growth in our GDP, bring back manufacturing to the United States rather than allow these companies to go into Mexico or go into Taiwan or go into China, make their product from there, their American countries, and turn back around and sell it to us.
Okay,
Well,
so
that's
you're saying
ridiculous.
essentially.
But that's crazy because those is not the fault of the other countries. All the fabric did that, all the fabric shut down in Europe and open in India and in China and Mexico, and Canadians and Americans company as well. They they partially close some section because it's too pricey to produce here, and they go elsewhere. And so now I'm trying to follow up this way of. So, if a company, let's say Apple, open a company in China, then that's the fault of China, right? It's not the fault of Apple that he decided to save some money and open a company in China because it's cheaper, so it's going to make a greater profit. It's the fault of the Chinese. So I don't know how far can we go with that. So it's never the American people company fault, but it's always the other. So but the shareholders, so then they're all guilty. Is that a conspiracy? They all want to make more money.
Essentially, they need to have a little faith in the president
Yes.
and wait for his policies. Speaking of what's happening on the Hill today, Chuck Schumer, the leader of the Senate Democrats, came out and said they have the votes to block the House funding bill that came through from Republicans on that in terms of what that's going to look like. They're arguing because Republicans didn't work with them on this, that they're not going to pass it. What happens? Is the government going to shut down in your view?
Chuck obviously knew he had the votes to begin with because we only have 53. It takes 60 to get there. So we don't have 60.
You need 8 Democrats to vote with you.
Well, we're going to need 8 because Rand Paul's no, so that we have 52, but we don't have 53 Republicans. It's interesting to me that he said that because I was on the floor when he said that today. And I'm like, well, isn't this the same CR, the same spending levels that you voted for in September? The same spending levels that you voted for in December? So what has changed? What's changed is you have President Trump in office rather than President Biden in office, because there's no other argument you can have.
Yeah, actually, that's a very simplistic way to put it. What did change is like you piss off all your allies, all your friends, all your neighbors. You put tax on American people coming from any country of the rest of the world. So you put the whole world against you. And you're charging your citizen a tax, a tariff, anything that come from any country in the world. And this is how you're going to make the finance of the government great again, a superpower and healthy. We're going to suck up all the pennies from the hard-working people, that are working, right? So you're sucking up all the money from the hard-working people and make the CEOs and all the big shot investment even richer. I think that's the
have
way.
here. They weren't willing to shut it down. They were okay with these numbers two other times.
Oh, sorry. Also, yeah, you're being pro Russia and you're okay. I think he's going to go and play golf with Putin.
But this is in 2024. Now that Trump's in office, it's their hatred towards Trump that they're willing to shut down the government for.
Hatred against Trump because he didn't do anything, and there is no reason for people to be unhappy.
It's absurd. Why wouldn't they support the policies?
Yeah, it's totally absurd. Come on, we don't get it. Ukraine did started this war, like American started the war against I don't remember what, Afghanistan, because the World Trade Center, Americans started like Ukrainians started the war. If you want to compare, yeah, sure, it makes totally sense. And donkeys, they fly.
The numbers that they voted for underneath Biden.
Do you think the government will shut down?
No, I think they cave in by Friday.
As the president says, he's playing the...
All right, so this is my 2 cents on this. This, honestly, it's a show. But at the end of the day, who's going to get poorer? Well, Canadians getting poorer because we have a tax. And Canadians, they're going to get poorer because we are going to have a tax. And then who's going to have recession? Canadians, yes. Americans, can you trust them? Because before they said, foreigners are going to pay the tariffs, and then they keep saying to Americans that the tariffs will not increase the price, and then it's not going to make a recession, and everything's going to be great. And after it changed a little bit more and said, maybe we're going to have hard times before it get better, and then at the end, well, tariffs are a tax and are passed to retailers. All right, so who can you believe? So who's going to gain anything from that? Let me show you. Now I have an alarm. What is this? Coin. Okay, let's go. Okay, I would love if the President Trump is going to state or make a project, a law that is willing to sign, that he didn't short the market, and if he did, he's not allowed to pardon himself or any of his friends or any people that he knows or any one of his family. And I want, then I would start to trust him. So if he can sign a paper that he didn't short the market, because I do believe this is artificial made, and I would love to see if Elon Musk didn't short his Tesla by himself. Yeah, okay. So, and also, when he's going about to say that he's going to remove the tariffs, also I would like, eventually we will know, in 5 years, 10 years, we will know shit. Did he or someone he knows or someone in his family started to long the market when he was about to say that tariffs will be removed? So these are my question. Did he start to short the market when he started to talk about the tariffs, and is he going to long it before he start to remove the tariffs? I do believe this is a show, okay? And a normal way to do things would be, if you find that a trade is not fair, well, first of all, he did sign that agreement. So he signed it, and now he says he's no good. So it means he's not a businessman. Let's, I mean, like, you made it happen, man. Now you're not happy, so you're a bad businessman. And now they're saying he's a great businessman. So which one it is? I believe he's just a liar, and he's insider trader. So I would like, no, allegedly, right? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't have the stats for the moment. Someone eventually will go. Truth always surfaces. So I'm curious. I regret I didn't short Tesla, but I should have. Yeah. Anyway, is there something else I wanted to say? I think at this point, I think we're good to go. For sure, I was saying, normal people that are very skilled, they would say, okay, Canada, okay, another dairy. Okay, let's Google it now live. Okay, so is it true that there is a 250% tax on American dairy? Oopsie. Dairy going to Canada. Since we are alright, so it is partially true that there are high tariffs on some American dairy products entering Canada, but this statement requires important context and clarification. Okay, so let's go. The 250% tariffs is not applied universally to all American dairy products entering Canada. These high tariffs only come into effect after the US has reached a specific negotiated limit of tariff-free dairy export to Canada each year, and which it does make sense because Canada only have 40 million people, and United States have 340 million people. So if American dump all their dairy in Canada because they're bigger, they will overflow the market and then just make collapse the price. So I mean, this is a normal sense. According to the USA dairy sector, the country is not approaching the allowed quota for any dairy product category. In many cases, particularly with milk, the USA has not even achieved half of the zero tariff threshold. So country is not approaching the allowed for any dairy product category. So it means like they don't even import enough milk, is it? So the tariffs rates for dairy products above the zero tariff limit have maintained consistent in recent years. For example, the rate is 300% for butter and for cheddar cheddar exceeding the maximum quota. So it means if the American exceeded the quota that they import of a specific quota that we don't know because it doesn't say, then there is a tariff, which it's normal, I would say. At one certain point, any country would do that, but it's not that there is 250% on any. It just, I would say, on a reasonable amount that they sign a treaty. So I mean, US, they agreed. If they're not happy with it, they can just go and say, hey man, we would like to renegotiate this part. And a normal person that is not insane, he would do that, right? Like, okay, let's talk about dairy. We would like you to increase the quota. And then you have a negotiation there. You don't put just tariffs and invent some national security bullshit. And now a sane person, he would go country after country and maybe renegotiate. He only an insane one would just do that for the world, because just imagine, you need to renegotiate all this treaty maybe, but how can you do that? I mean, how many people do you have to go and negotiate at the same time? And this is why, to me, this is a stage. This is like it's an amazing time to short. If you were into the group, the oligarchs, the American oligarchs, now I call them, you guys, the super rich people, they shorted. I'm telling you, I'm putting Tesla as a reference, but I'm sure they all shorted here, and they're about to long. I do believe now, who knows, maybe this is the end of the correction already for Tesla, or we're going to go even lower and we're going to make an A, a B, and a C. So now, maybe, what Trump did he say? He's flexible. So maybe it's going to be flexible soon, and the oligarchs are going to long until it's going to become inflexible here, and they're going to continue to short, and after that tariffs will go away, and then when normal people that they don't have any knowledge, financial knowledge, will get ruined and depleted from their pockets and their wallets, because tariffs drained all their money. Then the rich are going to long here for the big wave up. And this is how poor people get poorer and the rich one get richer, because they suck the money of the poorer one. All right, so I don't know 47 almost minutes. Okay, so I'm sorry about this video. It was very long, and I usually don't do politics, but was this politics or just fact checking? I don't know. So please leave some comments, constructive one. Just say, if you say you are a shit, don't bring any constructive debate or argument, or use AI like I did. Support your statements by facts. If you just say you are a moron, well, it is useless. It's not back referenced by AI. Now I'm really hoping that we're going to have a plug-in or something, and AI can listen. And when we listen the news, we can have AI to double check what's lying, what's a lie, and what's the truth. And that's sad to get to those tools that we need to see who's lying and who's not. All right, so hopefully you kind of enjoyed this video. Please like if you like, and dislike if you dislike. I don't care. And and maybe subscribe if you like that. But honestly, I'm not going to make more video like this. I will go back to my technical analysis. It's just that once in a while, it's nice to put some, like when you hear so many lies, come on. And what did I want to say also? I have a blank. I wanted to say something. No, I think that's pretty much all. Yeah, so I should be good for 2-3 months, unless I hear outstanding quantity of lies. But it is nice to use AI. You can use ChatGPT also, So let's not take things for granted, or let's not trust anyone, especially politicians. Let's do our homework, our due diligence. Let's double check what they say, are they saying the truth or they're trying to manipulate us? That's the most important thing. Let's not take their shit. Let them, they're working for us. Are they reporting the truth? And you know, nowadays it's so easy. You take any AI that you trust and ask the question and see what happens, you know. And I think this is unfortunately it's very sad, but this is the trend that we have to take to know a little bit things, to have an idea who's honest with us and who not, and so then we can have a better idea to who trust. If someone lie all the time, then you know we know that we need AI for everything he's saying. If someone is very honest, maybe we don't need AI so much. We can have a break. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And have a good day. Bye.